Welcome everyone to 2024. As we head into the new year, I wanted to take a look back at all the games that I played back in the ancient year of 2023 and recount some of my personal favorites. Just a disclaimer, not every game listed here released in 2023, although some did, but this is just really a recounting of my personal favorites and the best games that I got to play in 2023 and my thoughts on them. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the list. Now, starting off the list with number 10, we have Cuphead. Now, I played Cuphead pretty early on in the year, and I remember having a lot of fun playing it. It was a really fun game. My initial thoughts were it's kind of like it has similar structure to like I know everyone compares these games to like Dark Souls. Anytime a game is hard, they compare it to Dark Souls. But it did have similar structure to the Souls games in the sense that you beat a boss, the next main goal is the next boss, and it's just constantly, going from boss to boss. But the Souls games had plenty of exploration to break those bosses up. Cuphead, there is like almost no breaks. It is non-stop action, boss after boss after boss, and it was so much fun to play through. It also, obviously, the incredible art style, incredible music. I mean, from a visual and auditory perspective, this game is like incredible, 100%. But I will say, Cuphead didn't really leave much of a lasting impact on me. I played it, I had fun playing it, but when I don't often find myself thinking back on it that often. Like, maybe it's the fact that I played it pretty early on in the year, but still, I mean, another game on here was the first game I played this year, and that's, I think about that game a lot. But Cuphead, not so much. It was a fun game, really fun, but nothing really too memorable. But of course, I still recommend it. You should absolutely go out and play Cuphead if you haven't already. It's a classic. Now at number 9, we have an interesting one. We have God of War Ragnarok Valhalla, the DLC. I know that this isn't really a game. It is a DLC. It's a free DLC, which is incredible. But I was shocked by this game. Like, I was watching the Game Awards live, and I remember seeing that reveal for the DLC, and I remember seeing Kratos come up on screen, and I was so excited. I'm like, oh my god, is this a story expansion? No, it was a roguelike mode, and it was free. And to be honest, when I first saw that this DLC was free, I actually had more negative thoughts than good ones, because whenever I see free DLC, in my mind, it's like, oh, okay, the DLC must not be that great if the developers are willing to give it away for free, right? Wrong. Absolutely wrong. This DLC is incredible. Like, seriously, incredible. It's probably the best free DLC that I've ever played. It isn't just a roguelike, although the roguelike elements are really well done, but it is actually an addition to Kratos' story. Like, there are story moments here that really work, and it was just a lot of fun to play through it, and seeing all these new moments unfold. I mean, trust me, like, if you have God of War Ragnarok and you haven't played this DLC, go and play it, man. It's free. Like I said, it's not too long, maybe about 4 to 5 hours, but you could really push that to more if you're willing to do some of the extra stuff. I'm still logging onto God of War and playing bit by bit every now and then, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a really great game, or a great DLC for a great game. Yeah, you should go and play this DLC if you haven't. It's a lot of fun. Number 8 is Batman Arkham Knight. Now, okay, this is kind of a cheat because I have played Arkham Knight years before, but I never finished it. I got at the most about halfway through, and then I stopped playing because I was just not really having fun. And then I tried it again a few years later on PC, and I still wasn't having fun. But I don't know what it was, but this time something changed. I got the Arkham Collection, the, Asylum, City, and Night, and I decided to play Night first because I thought in my head, if the Arkham series is a bit hard for me to get into, I should start with the most accessible one to really give me an in, like, to get me into that franchise. And it worked. Arkham Knight was so much fun. The combat was excellent. So good. Even now, like I said with God of War, even now sometimes I log on, I do a couple AR challenges, I do some of the combat. It's so much fun. It's really fun to traverse the world too, using the grapple hook and then your little your cape to fly around. That was really cool. Not quite as good as some other games like maybe Spider-Man, but that's just a personal opinion. But it was a lot of fun to just get around this world. And speaking of the world looks great too, especially for a game that came out back in 2015, almost like 9 years old now. The story was pretty fun, but a bit lacking in some areas. I thought the conclusion wasn't great, and I thought it did have some pacing issues here and there. Stealth was really well done as well. I really liked how stealth was done in this game. Yeah, they gave you plenty of tools, but each tool is viable. It's a great game. I actually platinumed this one, and I'd say this is probably my most proud platinum of the year. I just had so much fun playing this game, doing all the side quests, even getting the Riddler trophies, which, yes, I did do, and that was pretty damn annoying, but it wasn't that bad. Yeah, Arkham Knight, great game, really great game. You could probably get this on sale for like $7-8, and that is a steal. This is a classic. This is another classic. You should absolutely play Arkham Knight if you haven't already. Now, Star Wars Jedi Survivor at number 7. So, I'm not going to talk too much about this game because I already did a whole 30-minute review for it. You can go watch that if you want some extended thoughts. But, overall, it was fun. It was good. It had some decent combat. It had a decent story, if a bit lacking in some areas. The world was really fun to explore, pretty expansive too compared to Fallen Order. Like, that was almost an open world game at that point. Visuals were great. The game looks really good. Although I should say, of course, the main discourse surrounding this game is the poor performance. I played this game on PS5, and I did have some struggles with performance every now and then, but it wasn't unplayable. I was averaging maybe 50, 45 FPS, which, isn't ideal. I typically like to aim for 60 FPS, and I was playing on performance mode as well. But it was still playable. It was still playable for me. And actually, not too long ago, they came out with a patch for the PlayStation version that runs at a smooth 60 FPS. I tested it. It was running butter smooth for me. I can't speak for the PC version because that's a lot worse, as I've heard. But yeah, I still really enjoyed the game. I just thought it was a lot of fun to play, a lot of fun to explore. A lot of fun to get back into the Star Wars world, and it was a great continuation of the story of Cal Kestis, but I do kind of wish that certain parts were maybe tweaked or changed. You'll see what I mean if you watch my review, but yeah, it was a great game. You might be able to say some of the games lower on here are better, but it's kind of more of a personal list. I just had a lot of fun playing Survivor. Now, number 6, Spider-Man 2. Ooh. What a great game. I mean, really, really fun. The combat, super fun. Web swinging, I mean, it's web swinging. It's Spider-Man web swinging. Even if you haven't played it, I'm sure you know, like, how good it is. The story did leave a bit to be desired. If I'm being honest, there were some parts of the story that I actually didn't really like that much. But it was engaging the whole time. I was never bored. I was never ever bored playing Spider-Man 2. But I will say this game is a bit safe in its approach. I don't know, maybe I'm just starting to get a bit tired of the traditional Spider-Man formula at this point, and maybe I'm looking for some more major changes or tweaks. But I mean, it was a lot of fun. I was never, like I said, I was never bored playing this game ever. But there were some parts that maybe could have been better. Maybe I preferred in some of the other Spider-Man games here and there. But overall, yeah, still a great game. The voice acting was also incredible. And as someone who's a completionist, I should point out that the collectibles in this game and like the whole process of 100%ing this game was actually really well tuned. It never felt too overwhelming, and it was just really enjoyable to go through the whole time. I had a lot, I keep saying fun, but I had a lot of fun playing Spider-Man 2. And yeah, it was a great game. Now, number 5, we have the Ezio collection. If you've checked my channel anytime recently, then you'll know that this is a game, or 3 games, that I just not like recently made a video on. It's excellent. It's an excellent trilogy. It's really good. Again, if you want some more extended thoughts, go watch my review. But I mean, it was a great time. It really was. These games are pretty old by this point, but they do hold up like very well. And I really think, I say this in my review as well, but I really do think that every game in this trilogy makes the other games in the trilogy better for it. Like, this trilogy as a whole just lifts up each individual product in that trilogy. You know what I mean? Like each game here serves to make the other games in this trilogy better for it, and I really love that. These games have incredible soundtracks, by the way. I know that's, you know, a bit of a not like super popular thing to say about like a great game, but like I found myself like even now still listening to the soundtracks of these games. They're really good. The worlds are really fun to explore. Ubisoft always crushes that. That's kind of their specialty, but it was really fun to explore these games. Gameplay can sometimes be lacking, apart from parkour, of course. I love the parkour, but just the whole package as a whole, the story, Ezio as a character, everything, it's great. It's absolutely great. Go play it. You could probably get it on sale for like 15 bucks less for 3 great games. That is easily worth it. Go, yeah, really great trilogy. If anything, I'm ashamed it took me this long to play them, because I have been an Assassin's Creed fan for a few years, and I did play Assassin's Creed 2, but never Revelations or Brotherhood until here. And I know that's a bit like, you know, like those are some of the best in the series, and now I see that, of course. But yeah, no, go play the Ezio collection if you haven't, and especially if you're an Assassin's Creed fan or looking to get into the Assassin's Creed series, go play the Ezio collection. Number 4, now we're getting into the really good stuff. Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty. Now, I also made a video on this, but God, this DLC was just so incredible. It's one of the best DLCs that I've ever played. I know, again, I'm including a DLC on here for the 2nd time, okay? Maybe not even the last time, but I mean, you know, I did really enjoy it, I can't lie. It made me like Cyberpunk even more than I did originally, and I always liked Cyberpunk, right? I always liked it, but it just got better with time, not just because of the improvements, but because of the time that I had to think about it. Like, the more time that I had to kind of live with Cyberpunk, like, and think about Cyberpunk, I loved it more and more, and this DLC definitely helps. What else do we have? Dogtown. It's just really cool. It looks so good. The story and plot are really well made. The quest design is top tier. It has Idris Elba. Like, I mean, he's Idris Elba, right? It's great DLC. It's a really amazing DLC. It's just great. And it is one of the best things that I played this year, for sure. So, yeah. Also, Update 2.0 as well. Great. But yeah, I mean, this DLC was just incredible. I loved it. Okay, top 3, the big top 3. Coming in at number 3, we have The Last of Us Part 1. Now, I actually played this game around the time when the show was airing for the first time. Like when the show was first started airing is when I bought this game, because of how much just hype there was around The Last of Us, and I never played it. I played the 2014 remastered version, not the Part 1 remake, because I didn't want to spend that much money on it. But I got this game. I played it kind of alongside the show. I wasn't watching the show at the time, but I was playing it kind of. Actually, at times, I would play a bit of the game, maybe an hour or 2, right? And then I would pull up the show, and I would watch, like, certain parts of the episodes that I had just played through in the game to see how they kind of match up, and that was really fun to do, actually. But, I mean, The Last of Us 1, it's a classic. It is without a doubt a classic. The story is fantastic. The combat was really good, if a bit dated, but it was still pretty good. The ending of this game is probably the best, or at least one of the best, that I've ever seen in a video game. The environments are great. The soundtrack is incredible. I still listen to some of the music from The Last of Us. It's a great game. It's a really great game. It's also paced really well. Like, I really want to replay this game. I actually might soon. Like, it's the way that its story flows and progresses is just paced so well. It's like not too long, not too short. It's like the perfect length. It's a really well-crafted story. I love The Last of Us 1. But something that I like even more than The Last of Us 1 is The Last of Us 2. The Last of Us 2 is one of the most divisive games ever made, and I happen to fall onto the side of loving it. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that. I know this video is probably going to get a couple dislikes simply because this game is on this list, especially this high up this list, especially the fact that I put it above The Last of Us 1, which I do. I love The Last of Us 2. I think it has a very ambitious story that really worked for me. It made me feel things that no other game before has. Like, this game broke me. This game really broke me, but in a good way. Its gameplay is phenomenal. A massive, massive step up over The Last of Us 1. I love the third-person cover shooter gameplay. I love the crafting. I love the stealth. The stealth in this game is really good, too. I love the environments, so good looking, the visuals, beautiful, the soundtrack, incredible, the characters are really well written and believable, in my opinion at least. This game's story just really, really worked for me though. It's really what sold me on this game, like 100%. It could have the great gameplay, it could have the environments, but the story is what really did it for me, and I loved this game's story so much. I can definitely see why people don't like it. I definitely understand some of the criticisms. And, you know, if I were to hear someone say, I hate The Last of Us 2 story, I would not agree, but I would see how they arrived at that conclusion. But if someone said that The Last of Us 2 story is safe, that is something that I will strongly disagree with. This game's story is the least safe story I think I've ever seen. It's super ambitious, super out there. You have never seen a story like this before, told like this. And I think it really worked. I think it really worked for me. It was really well done. I love The Last of Us 2 story so much. So that's why I've put it up this high. I know many people are going to disagree, but this is my list, and I love The Last of Us 2. And I'm gonna, it's number 2 on this list for me. It's one of the best games I've ever played. And possibly even the best PlayStation exclusive I've ever played too, because I've played a lot of PlayStation exclusives. Not all of them, but most of them. And this is definitely, yeah, it's the best. I'd say it's the best PlayStation exclusive that I've played. Again, I know many people are going to disagree, but I love it. I love this game so much. Now, at number 1, we have Outer Wilds. Outer Wilds is a game that some of you might not have heard of. It's a pretty small indie game. But Outer Wilds is one of the best games ever made. This is an experience like no other. And I really truly mean that. Outer Wilds at times doesn't even really feel like a video game. It feels more like an experience that you experience through the medium of video games. You look at some of the other games on this list, some of the other really big, games out there. Red Dead 2, The Last of Us. I mean, they already did make The Last of Us into a TV show. You could probably take Red Dead 2 and turn it into a TV show, right? You could probably take Cyberpunk and make a few movies out of it. I mean, they did make the Edge Runners anime. You could take plenty of games here and out in the video game space, and you could turn it into a movie, a TV show, a book. You can't do that with Outer Wilds. Outer Wilds is something that is only meant to be experienced as a video game. You can't make a TV show about it, you can't make a book about it, you can't make a movie about it, you can't tell the story of Outer Wilds in anything that isn't a video game because of how it's structured, how it's made, how it's built. This game is a masterpiece. I say that without any due course, it is a masterpiece. Its DLC is just as good as the main game, sometimes better. It's phenomenal. I will never ever forget playing Outer Wilds for the first time, and I really do wish I could play it again for the first time. But it's kind of one of those games that once you play it once, you can never really play it again. It really is a once in a lifetime experience, and if you haven't played this game, just play it. I'm telling you, just play it. I can't tell you what it's about. Nobody will tell you what it's about, not even like the diehard fans of this game, because you just shouldn't. You should not know anything about this game when you play it. You should just play it. Just play it. Go on the PlayStation Store, go on Steam, go on Microsoft Store, go on Xbox, whatever. Buy this game. It's on Switch now too, I think. I actually think it recently released on Switch. Go and play it. It's unbelievable. Get the DLC as well. That's just as good. It's one of the best games I've ever played. It's one of the best games ever made. And it was an absolute honor to get to play this gem of a game this year or in any year. Yeah, it's a once in a lifetime experience. Go out and play it. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a masterpiece. It really is. And with that, we have the list. That's the top 10. Um, Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about my number 2 spot down down in the comments. But just yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to tell me your top 10 that you played, go ahead. Go tell me in the comments. I'll read like all of them. Anything, tell me what kind of games you played this year. Tell me what you think is game of the year. Me personally, it's Phantom Liberty, even though it's a DLC. That's my game of the year. But yeah, go down in the comments. Tell me what kind of games you played this year, and tell me what you thought of this list. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.